Once upon a time, in a colorful and whimsical village, there lived a cheerful little girl named Lucy. She was known far and wide for her bright red hood that she wore everywhere. Her red hood made her stand out in the village, and everyone called her Lucy with the red hood. One sunny morning, Lucy's grandmother, who lived on the other side of the enchanting forest, fell ill. Lucy's mother asked her to visit her grandmother and bring her some homemade soup and a bouquet of wildflowers to cheer her up. Excited to help her grandmother, Lucy put on her red hood, waved goodbye to her mother, and skipped into the forest. As she journeyed through the forest, Lucy met a friendly squirrel named Sammy. Sammy asked, "Where are you going with that delicious-looking basket, Lucy?" "I'm on my way to visit my grandmother, who is not feeling well," Lucy replied with a smile. Sammy said, "Oh, that's wonderful. I can show you the quickest way to get there, and I'll make sure you stay safe." Lucy thanked Sammy and continued her journey, feeling grateful for her new furry friend's company. Soon, Lucy and Sammy stumbled upon a beautiful field filled with colorful flowers. Lucy couldn't resist picking some of the most vibrant ones to create a lovely bouquet for her grandmother. She carefully selected red, blue, and yellow flowers, making sure to include her grandmother's favorites. As they continued their journey, they encountered a gentle deer named Daisy. Daisy said, "Hello, Lucy. Where are you off to today?" Lucy replied, "I'm on my way to see my grandmother. She's not feeling well, so I'm bringing her some homemade soup and these beautiful flowers to make her feel better." Daisy smiled and said, "That's so thoughtful of you, Lucy. I'll make sure you have a safe and pleasant journey through the forest." With Daisy's guidance, Lucy and Sammy ventured deeper into the forest. They crossed a babbling brook, skipped over stepping stones, and soon found themselves at the entrance to her grandmother's cozy cottage. Will Lucy have a safe visit with her grandmother? What adventures await her on her way back home? Stay tuned for the next part of The Little Girl in the Red Hood to find out. Lucy knocked on the wooden door of her grandmother's cottage, and a weak voice from inside called out, "Who's there?" "It's me, Grandma, Lucy," she replied. Her grandmother, whose name was Clara, was thrilled to see her beloved granddaughter. She had been feeling quite lonely and unwell in recent days. Clara greeted Lucy with a warm hug and a smile that lit up the room. Lucy presented her grandmother with the basket of homemade soup and the bouquet of colorful wildflowers. Clara's eyes sparkled with joy as she said, "Oh, Lucy, you've brought me the most wonderful gifts." "Thank you, my dear." Lucy stayed with her grandmother for a while, chatting and sharing stories. Clara was feeling better already, thanks to Lucy's cheerful presence. As they talked, they heard the sound of birds singing outside the window and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. Meanwhile, back in the forest, Sammy and Daisy were patiently waiting for Lucy to return. They decided to explore the woods a bit more while they waited. Together, they discovered a hidden meadow where fireflies danced among the wildflowers, creating a magical display of light. Sammy and Daisy joined in the dance, feeling the enchantment of the forest. As the sun began to set, Lucy realized it was time to head back home. She hugged her grandmother and said, "I'm so glad you're feeling better, Grandma." I'll come to visit you again soon." With a packed basket of fresh wildflowers, Lucy made her way back through the forest, with Sammy and Daisy by her side. The trio encountered friendly animals along the way, including a wise old owl, a playful rabbit, and a mischievous raccoon, all of whom helped them navigate the forest safely. But as they approached the outskirts of the forest, a mischievous wolf named Walter noticed Lucy's bright red hood from a distance. He had heard about Lucy's visit to her grandmother's cottage and had a sneaky plan in mind. Walter, disguising his intentions, approached Lucy and said, "Hello there, young lady. You seem to be on quite an adventure. Can I walk you home?" Lucy, always polite and trusting, replied, "Sure, Mr. Wolf." "That would be very kind of you." Little did Lucy know about Walter's ulterior motives. What surprises and challenges await her on her journey home? Stay tuned for the next part of The Little Girl in the Red Hood to find out. As Lucy walked with Walter, she chatted away, unaware of his true identity. Walter, with a wicked grin, led her deeper into the forest. Along the way, he tried to learn more about where Lucy lived and her grandmother's cottage. However, Sammy the squirrel and Daisy the deer had grown suspicious. They had a feeling that something was amiss. Sammy whispered to Daisy, "I don't trust that wolf. We need to follow Lucy and make sure she's safe." Sammy and Daisy stealthily followed Lucy and Walter, keeping a safe distance to avoid being seen. They watched as Walter guided Lucy off the main path and into a thicket, claiming it was a shortcut. Suddenly, Walter's true intentions became clear. He revealed his sharp teeth and snarled, "Hand over that basket of goodies and your red hood, little girl." Lucy, frightened but brave, exclaimed, "No, Mr. Wolf. You can't have them." Just as Walter lunged at Lucy, Sammy and Daisy sprang into action. Sammy climbed up a nearby tree and dropped a pine cone onto Walter's head, distracting him. Daisy used her swift legs to knock the basket of goodies out of Walter's grasp. Startled and frustrated, Walter turned to flee, but he was no match for Sammy's agility and Daisy's speed. They chased him deep into the forest, ensuring he wouldn't trouble Lucy again. Lucy, shaken but unharmed, picked up her basket and continued her journey home, with her red hood still securely on her head. She finally arrived back at her mother's house, where her worried mother had been anxiously waiting. Lucy recounted her adventurous day, from her visit to her grandmother's cottage to her encounter with the cunning wolf, Walter. Her mother was relieved that Lucy was safe and sound. The news of Lucy's bravery and the forest animals' clever intervention spread throughout the village. Lucy became a local hero, known not only for her bright red hood but also for her courage and kindness. And so, the little girl in the red hood lived happily ever after, sharing her adventures and the valuable lessons she had learned about trust and the importance of helping others. And that, my friends, is the end of our story. But Lucy's adventures and the enchanting forest will continue to captivate children's imaginations for generations to come.